As always, I'm going to be as transparent with you as humanly possible, because that's the kind of bloke I am. Just honest, very honest with my people. I just spent the last 20 minutes talking to a camera, reviewing the game, talking about the ups and downs and all the rest of it. I went to go take the audio out of my mixer here, to plug in a laptop, start the video editing process, which is what can be a lengthy one at times. And I realised that there was no SD card in the back of my mixer, so everything I said, gone. So, learning from my mistakes of the last video, I've made sure everything is plugged in and ready to go. And I think this is just the kind of week that, as a Richmond supporter, we're having, or I'm having. Nothing seems to be going right at the moment, and this is just one of the many things. So here we are, we're doing it again, or I'm doing it again. For you, it'll be the first time. Welcome, thank you again for joining me. It's a tough time at the moment to be a Richmond supporter. And again, speaking of nothing can go right, for an example, it was Sunday morning, out for a walk, grabbing a coffee. I get a text from a good friend, he lives around the corner from me, and he said, "Hey, VFL boys, playing at Trevor Barker, it's around the corner from where both of us live. Let's go." I thought, you know what? Perfect. VFL side's been pretty good this year. They competed pretty hard against Footscray last week, who were top of the ladder. So I'm like, you know what? I need a reprieve after last night. Like I watched our boys get done by 120 odd points. I need a bit of reprieve. I need to, hopefully see a Richmond win, because we haven't had one since the Sydney game. Well, obviously the VFL boys have won a few since then, but I haven't been to a win since the Sydney game. I could use it. Surely we're a good chance. I haven't followed the form too closely. I just know that we've been winning a couple games. So, for those that know what happened in the VFL, I get to the game. It's starting off okay. The competition's not too bad. I'm lining up for a coffee. Adam Uze's there. A few of the boys are there. They've obviously come straight from the airport, basically. So it's pretty cool to see. You see all the players getting around the VFL guys as well, the head coach, and you just think, wow, like, what a culture we've got. Today might be actually a pretty good day. Then Sam Naismith does his fourth ACL, and, from what you'd imagine, it's probably going to be career-ending for him, which I hope it's not, but it's just such a tough thing to come back from, especially at his age and with the injuries that he's had. It's going to be tough. So he does that, and we lose by 100-plus points again. So, like I said, it's just the life of a Richmond supporter at this current stage. And obviously, talking to other Richmond supporters, I think we know how we feel. I'm not looking for sympathy or empathy from any other clubs, because no one feels it for us after what we've been through the last few years, and we won't take that away, but it doesn't make this any easier, unfortunately. You'd think it would, but it certainly doesn't. I mean, maybe for some it does. I know some people I've spoken to say, I don't care if we're bottom of the ladder after what we've seen, but no, I definitely don't want to be doing this for too long, and hopefully it won't be. I don't know what we'll get to, but we'll talk about that a bit later. I'll talk briefly about the game. And last week was bad. This was worse. What do I even say at this point? And I've said that a few times this season already, but it's true. Like, what do you say? You lose by that many points. There's so many things wrong. We could sit here all day and dissect them all, but, and let's get injuries out of the way first and foremost. I just want to say, get those out of the way, because the way that we lost, obviously injuries didn't help, but it's not. There's more to it. There's got to be more to it than just that. We gave away over 100 points from turnover alone. They scored, I think, Brisbane's highest ever score or something like that. They kicked 10 goals straight. We just can't be letting teams do that to us, and that means our pressure wasn't good enough. Our skills clearly weren't good enough. Our transition two-way running clearly isn't good enough, and the club's well aware of it. You're well aware of it. We all know what's happening. It's just about finding a way to fix it. And, like I said, you can point to the injuries, but we've still got some star power out there, or premiership players that are still, playing good football at the moment. Like, you got Shea, Nank, Prestia, Vlosten, Dusty, Rioli, Broad. Yeah, there's still plenty of talent there that isn't super young. Obviously, we've got a whole bunch of blokes that have played less than 30 games, and that's obviously where the inexperience comes from, where the turnovers not always come from, but a lot of them will generate from there, just due to the inexperience and lack of awareness, and that's stuff that will happen. It'll come by with time. And that is probably the only positive out of the situation we're in, is that some young guys are getting a game. And I'm loving that. I am loving that. I did love the words from Chris Fagan in the press conference as well after the game, where he sympathised a bit with us. He said he knows what Ooze would be feeling, where he's coming from, because he was in a similar situation his first year at Brisbane. And that was nice, because, it would be easy just to sort of ignore what's happening and just say, oh, no, our boys just did a number on him. And I think he was pretty self-aware, Chris Fagan, which I didn't mind him admitting. But, I think long story short, I could go into numbers, and I got some here, just from the AFL app, but we lost in basically every key stat. Free kicks again. But, I think we need more, we want more, and geez, do we need it fast. So hopefully we can turn things around. Obviously not insinuating, a finals push, but just win a couple of games, give us something to look forward to till next year. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I know a lot of people are talking about, let's just finish bottom, get number 1 pick. Let's get that Josh Smiley kid or whoever else might be coming through. I don't really follow the underages too much, but, I know that name's been thrown around a fair bit. So there's people saying that sort of stuff as well, and I don't know where I sit on that. But I think that's one thing as well that the club really needs to come to terms with and make a decision. Are they rebuilding? Do we think we can compete with a healthy list? And at the moment, we're just injured. Is there a perfect medium for the both of those? I wouldn't mind trying to find a way where we can not rebuild, but I guess almost renovate in a weird way. If we could renovate, but also compete, win a few games. You look at Hawthorn, right? And obviously they're a team that's down the bottom. They've been down the bottom for a couple of years, but they've been winning games that they probably shouldn't. They've shown really, really competitive signs and done quite well. And even games that they've lost, they've competed pretty hard in. And we started the year pretty much doing that. Like, we beat Sydney with a game we shouldn't have won. We competed hard against Carlton, against Port. Who else did we play in that little patch? But can't remember. But we did compete, and we played pretty hard. These last 2 weeks, completely different story. That West Coast loss is looking a lot better now. That West Coast just did what they did to Melbourne on the weekend. This St Kilda loss is looking pretty bad now, considering where they've ended up. So I don't know. There's so many ups and downs within the season, but I do think the club needs to just come out and say, all right, look, this is where we're at. This is what our plan is going forward the next 4 or 5 years, because it's not going to be the next 1 or 2 years as much as I'd love it to be. It's going to be that next 4 or 5 years. This is where we think we'll be at. Let's get games into kids now while we can, while there's injuries. I'm looking at a Samson Ryan, who we've obviously given opportunities to in the past, but we're playing with one ruckman, just in Nank. We're lacking a key forward because of Tom Lynch being out of the side. Why would he not be getting a go? I don't understand. Even Cozzy. I know Cozzy didn't light the world on fire, but we're losing by 100 points anyway. We're not going to lose by more having him in the side. So you may as well give these guys opportunities. Let's see what we can discover, diamond in the rough type stuff. Throw Cozzy in the back line. Just do something. I don't know. I don't know if that's the answer. That was just an example. Don't shoot me for that. But it's just, I think these are the times that we can mix things up, toy around with things, and see what we can discover. Because, like I said, if we're this injured, this rattled, everybody's quite aware of where we're at. I think we're aware of where we're at. So let's just make the most of it and do things like that, because we can't expect too much backlash or criticism from trying different things, moving things around, shuffling things, and let's do it that way. So look, again, like I said, I really don't know what to say about the Brisbane game, so I probably will wrap it up there. I just wanted to give my quick little thoughts. It was a tough one to watch. I was originally planning on doing a fan cam after the game, but I did have prior commitments, so I couldn't do that. But I am going to try to tee one up soon, preferably for an away game where I'm not, rushing home from the G, trying to set everything up ready to go. If it can be an away game where I watch it from home, have it all ready to go, that might be the best, especially for my first time. I've had a few comments saying that, that they'd enjoy it, they'd love it. You guys have been great with the questions and answers on Instagram as well. Thank you for all of those. I do appreciate them. It is fun always having a chat and, answering the questions that you guys want to hear me answer. It does feel nice as well that you want to hear my opinion. A lot of people don't, so it's nice that you do. So thank you for that. But yeah, look, appreciate you watching. It's a tough time, I think, as Tigers fans, and I've already said this once because I ranted in the last video I tried to record, but as Tigers fans, now is the time to stick together. Not just with the club, and obviously, yes, that's one big thing. Let's stick with the club. Let's stick fat. get your memberships if you don't have one. You know, you can get some cheaper, chippy ones at the moment. Let's keep that membership base at a really high number if we can. Let's get to games. Let's show support where we can. Dreamtime at the G this Saturday coming up. Massive clash. You know, anything can happen at Dreamtime. So let's pray for that. But also let's stick together as fans. You know, as a fan base, a supporter group. I've seen a lot of infighting at the moment in all the all the Facebook groups and people disagreeing with each other, and that's fine. You're allowed to. But you know, now's the time that I think we've got to stick tight as Richmond fans because everyone's laughing at us. Like no one feels bad for Richmond because of all the success that we've had. So we're in it. You know, we're not like a North or West Coast where people do have that bit of a pity where they're like, oh, you know, these guys have been bad for a while now. Like no one cares, you know, and so they shouldn't. Like I'm not saying they should, but that's when we've got to stick together. I think as a supporter group and as fans, and you can have your differing opinions, but let's not go crazy with each other. Let's try and stick fat and get around one another because it's the perfect time to do so. But that is it. Thank you for watching the second, third, fourth take, whatever this is now, of the Lions review. Hopefully this is the last 100-point loss of the season. I don't know how many more my heart, my mind, my body, my soul, I don't know how much all of it can take. So fingers crossed that's the last one. We do have the Bombers this week who are in red-hot form, second on the ladder. You know, but they've given us a good shake when we were doing pretty well as well. So anything can happen. Hopefully we get some cavalry back. Hopefully Baker and Grimes can get back into the side this week from their tests that they were last week. So we'll wait and see. But I'll talk more about that in the Essendon preview video. So again, thank you very, very much for watching. Thank you for the support. Wednesday nights, 7:30 p.m. on the Jumper Punch channel, Forever Rivals. Please get in the comment section. Back me up. I really don't have much to say at the moment with the way we're going. So get in the comments. Back me up. Give me some love. Give Richmond some love. It's not just for me. It's back in your club. So if you're not doing anything Wednesday night, please head over. Even if you are, watch it the next day. It's a good little show. It goes for a couple of hours. So, you know, if you've got a bit of time, squeeze it in. I'd love to see you bob up in the comments during the live stream on Wednesday night. Otherwise, yes, I will be doing the Bombers preview. So I look forward to seeing you there. So thank you very, very much again for watching and go Tigers.